My sister publicly announced she secretly married my husband. So I told her what really happened 6 months ago. Okay. I don't even know how to start this, but I need to get it off my chest because it's honestly insane. A few days ago, my sister, 32 male, made this huge Facebook post claiming she secretly married my husband, 32 male, and that everything he owns is now hers. Yeah. I wish I was joking. I'm 30 female. And, up until recently, married to Marcus, fake name. We'd been together for years and married for 3. Met back in high school but didn't start dating until we reconnected as adults. We hit it off fast and honestly, I thought we were good. He wasn't perfect, but it felt solid. I was wrong. Now here's where it gets messy. My older sister, Nina, went to high school with us. She had this big crush on Marcus back then. I didn't even know the full extent of it until recently, but apparently it was a whole thing. He never noticed her though. Literally didn't even remember her name when we first started dating. When I got engaged, she completely ghosted me. Didn't come to the wedding. Didn't even text. She just cut me off like I'd done something to her. It sucked, but I figured she was being dramatic and left it alone. So fast forward to last week, my mom calls me freaking out. Nina had posted a pic with Marcus on the beach, both wearing rings, saying they were finally together, and that everything he has is now theirs. And yeah, she said that includes my stuff. My car. My dog. Everything. At first, I laughed. I genuinely thought it was some weird attention stunt. But then I remembered something she didn't know. 6 months ago, I started noticing things. Marcus was acting weird, sketchy trips, secretive texts, stuff like that. So I hired a PI. Turns out, one of those business trips was actually a vacation, with her. I've had proof this whole time. And the best part? Our divorce was finalized a month ago. Sent the papers while he was off playing pretend honeymoon. So when I saw her post, I messaged her, "You sure you want to go public with that? I've got receipts." She left me on read. Then later replied with, "You ruined everything." Nah. You did that all on your own. More to come. So after the whole Facebook marriage reveal fiasco, I honestly expected them both to disappear for a bit out of embarrassment. Nope. Marcus actually showed up at my apartment the next day like we were still cool. He looked rough. Like he hadn't slept or showered. I didn't even let him in. Just stood in the doorway and asked what he wanted. He goes, "Can we talk?" And I straight up told him, "We've already talked. Through lawyers." He kept rambling about how it wasn't supposed to happen like this, and how Nina misunderstood everything. I was just staring at him, trying not to laugh. I said, "You do realize we're already divorced, right?" His face dropped. Apparently, Nina never told him I'd finalized the divorce. Guess she thought keeping that part quiet would help her little fantasy play out longer. But yeah, papers were signed, sealed, and done a whole month before her big announcement. She really thought she ate with that one. Marcus asked me if I was going to tell people. I told him I didn't have to, she already told everyone, and she just made herself look stupid. He asked if I could at least not make it worse. I said, "Bro, you cheated on your wife with her sister. It doesn't get much worse." Then he asked about the PI. Said something like, "You were spying on me?" I said, "I wasn't spying. I was verifying." And yeah, I showed him the pics. Him and Nina poolside in Cabo, holding hands like they're in a damn rom-com. He didn't even try to deny it. That was pretty much it. He left looking even more miserable than when he arrived. As for Nina, she's still acting like she won something. She hasn't posted again, but she's been liking comments under her post and replying to people with stuff like, "We've been in love for years, and the truth always comes out." Girl. Please. Anyway, I'm not done yet. There's more to this, including how I found out and what I did before the divorce even started. Alright, so here's where things really started falling apart, about 6 months ago. That's when my gut started screaming at me that something was off. Marcus had started doing this thing where he was always too tired or too stressed to hang out, but suddenly had all this energy for weekend work trips with no actual work I could confirm. And yeah, I get it, people travel for work, but this man would leave on a Thursday night and come back Monday morning looking like he'd just gotten a massage and a tan. Suspicious, right? He also got real protective over his phone. Like, flip it over when it buzzes level shady. I asked him about it once and he made a big deal about needing privacy. That's when I knew something was definitely up. At first, I thought maybe he was cheating, but Nina? She didn't even cross my mind. I genuinely thought she hated me at this point. I hadn't heard from her in years. Then one night, Marcus came home and mentioned something that weirded me out. He said, "Your sister's been through a lot lately. You should try reaching out." I just blinked at him. I hadn't mentioned her in forever. So why was he bringing her up? That was my light bulb moment. I didn't even confront him right away. Instead, I started keeping notes. Dates. Weird comments. Little things. I went full spreadsheet mode. Eventually, I called up a PI I found online, explained the situation, and gave him the basics. Within 2 weeks, he sent me pictures. Marcus and Nina at a resort in Mexico. All cuddled up like a honeymoon couple. Holding hands, kissing by the pool, matching drinks, the whole cliché. I remember just staring at the screen like, there's no way. But there it was. I didn't tell either of them right away. I wanted to be smart about it. So I called a lawyer and started planning my exit. Quietly. I started moving some money around, backed up all my important documents, and made copies of anything that could come in handy. I wasn't about to go scorched earth, but I also wasn't about to let these two screw me over. They thought they were being slick. They had no clue I was already 10 steps ahead. So after I got all the info from the PI and lined everything up legally, I quietly filed for divorce. My lawyer was amazing. She helped me serve the papers without making a scene. I didn't even tell Marcus right away. Just waited for him to get that little envelope in the mail. His reaction? Confused and panicked. He called me like 10 times in a row and finally left a voicemail asking, "Can we just talk about this before you make a decision?" Like, bro, the decision was made the second you booked a beach suite with my sister. I didn't answer. Instead, I forwarded the voicemail to my lawyer and kept it moving. Now here's where I maybe got a little petty. I didn't say anything publicly at the time, but I started untagging myself from any photos with him online and archived all our wedding stuff. Quietly erased him from my life. Nina still wasn't even on my radar. I figured she was just a fling and he'd toss her when it got inconvenient. Then 2 weeks after the papers were filed, I got a DM from a random account. No profile pic, no posts, just a message that said, "You don't deserve him." I knew immediately it was Nina. The way it was worded, the whole bitter energy, it screamed her. So I replied, "Good. You can have him. Just wait until you see the prenup." She blocked me instantly. Classic. Thing is, Marcus didn't really have much to his name. He was living off image, credit cards, small gigs, and pretending to be a guy with a plan. The car? Mine. The apartment? Mine. Most of the furniture? You guessed it, mine. So when Nina announced that everything he owns is now hers, I genuinely laughed. Because, girl, you just inherited a guy with bad credit, no apartment, and 2 maxed out cards. And then, of course, came the big Facebook reveal. Like I said before, I let her cook. She made herself look ridiculous, and I didn't have to lift a finger. After her "we're married now" announcement blew up, mostly from people clowning her in the comments, Nina went quiet. She stopped posting, didn't respond to my message, and I guess realized this wasn't the victory parade she thought it'd be. People from our hometown were messaging me, asking if it was real. I didn't say much, just hit them with, "We've been divorced for a while. Hope they're happy." Honestly, I think that stung her more than if I'd gone off. As for Marcus, last I heard, he's staying at Nina's place, which, fun fact, is my parents' old basement. I don't know how long that'll last, but I'd give it 6 months max before one of them cracks. Neither of them has ever had to deal with the reality of being around each other 24/7. My parents? Yeah, that's awkward. My mom's furious. She's not even on speaking terms with Nina right now, and my dad called Marcus a clown with a death wish. They've been super supportive of me though. Especially once I showed them everything, photos, receipts, timeline. I think it hit them that I really tried to handle it with as much grace as possible. The divorce itself went through clean. I kept everything that mattered, my apartment, my car, my peace. Marcus didn't fight for anything, probably because he knew he'd lose. That prenup he agreed to without reading? Lifesaver. Emotionally? I'm actually doing better than expected. At first, yeah, it sucked. It wasn't just losing a husband, it was losing a sister at the same time. But over time, it started to feel like I'd dodged a lifetime of drama. Imagine raising kids with that man and having to do holidays with her sitting across the table. Nope. I'm good. I'm not even mad anymore. Just relieved. They deserve each other, honestly. 2 sneaky, selfish people playing house with a pile of lies. Anyway, thanks to everyone who's read through this saga. Writing it all out has been weirdly healing. I think I'm finally done looking back. Moving on. With a clean slate.